Hello students, I am Professor Isha Mediratta from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In today's video, I will be discussing about twisting couple on a cylinder. We will be considering two cases of cylinder. One is a hollow cylinder, the other one is a solid cylinder. You can consider a cylinder or a wire shaft. If you have any queries in understanding any topic from the video, you can contact me on this below mentioned email ID. Shall we start with our topic? Okay. Before I move on to the derivation part, let me first discuss two important terms which are really important to understand the derivation. The two terms are torsion and torsional rigidity. So starting with torsion, what do you mean by the word torsion? Torsion is known as twisting of an object. You can just see in this diagram, there is a set of forces applied on the object. One is a clockwise force, the other one is an anti-clockwise force. So on application of this force, your object twists. So this twisting is known as torsion. What is torsional rigidity? If you are applying any force to any object, the object resists that force. So this amount of resistance which a cross section has against torsional deformation is what is known as torsional rigidity. You are applying a force anti-clockwise, the torsional rigidity will be in the clockwise direction. So it always opposes the amount of force that is applied. Now let us discuss our derivation. This derivation is divided into two parts. First, we will be discussing about a solid cylinder. So we assume a solid cylinder which is having a length L and which is having a radius r. The coefficient of rigidity, if you remember coefficient of rigidity eta, coefficient of rigidity is related to shear stress and shear strain. Getting it? Okay. Now we are considering that this cylinder, this is the top end of the cylinder. So this top end of the cylinder is fixed, and the couple or the deforming force you apply is on the base. So holding this top fixed, you are just twisting the base. We have this length L, so I have considered two center points. One is O, the other is O dash. So O dash is considered as fixed and O is rotated by an angle theta. It is sheared by an angle theta. So according to this diagram, I can say that this arc BB dash. Now if a shearing force is applied, the layer gets displaced. So this layer, the point B we had on the layer has displaced to B dash, and this angle is what is the angle theta. So I can say that this arc BB dash will be equal to L phi. How do we get this arc BB dash is equal, this arc BB dash is equals to x into theta. How do we get this? The arc is equals to angle into distance. So it is deformed by a distance x, the angle is theta. So BB dash is equals to x theta. In the next diagram, what we have considered is, suppose you cut this cylinder across O dash and you just open it up. So if you are cutting and opening the cylinder, you will be getting a rectangle. Suppose we label the rectangle as A, B, C and D. But because the lower part is being displaced, is being twisted or sheared by an angle theta, we say that this shearing angle, this was a displacement angle, and because of this displacement, if the shear produced is say phi, so we have this cylinder opened up into a rectangle, but because of this shear, it will be actually a parallelogram. So this parallelogram you will be seeing wherein only the bottom portion, the bottom layer has displaced. So this bottom layer is B dash, C dash. So according to this diagram, I can say that this BB dash is equals to perpendicular distance into the angle. So based on the two different diagrams, I have two relations. One says BB dash is equals to x theta. The other one says BB dash is equals to L phi. This was the deforming angle and this is the resultant shear. So comparing both the values of BB dash, we get x theta is equals to L phi, and basis on this we find out the shear phi produced is equals to x theta by L. So this is the equation of the shear produced, shear strain produced. Now this shear strain, we can find out what is the value of shear stress. We already know the modulus of rigidity is eta. We know what is the shear based on the above equation. So we can find out shear stress is equals to eta into shear. So the equation of shear stress will be eta into x theta by L. So this equation gives us the equation of shear stress. If you know shear stress, you can find out the force applied, because we know that stress is equals to force upon area. So the shear force on the surface of hollow cylinder will be this stress into surface area. But what surface will be considering? We have just taken a hollow cylinder wherein we assume that this hollow cylinder is made up of many concentric cylinders, and out of these concentric cylinders we have just assumed a single surface. You can see here wherein BB dash is the displaced part. So it is just the bottom portion of the cylinder we are trying to show. This angle is theta, that is the displaced angle. This is the deformation x. So if I consider the small change because of this shear is dx, I have just considered one hollow cylinder. So we will be finding out what is the effect of this torsion on this cylinder, and then we will integrate it for the entire solid cylinder. So in this case, I want to find out what is the surface area. So surface area will only be of this shaded portion. So how do you find out surface area of this shaded portion? Just cut and open it up. You can see that the thickness is dx, and what will be the length? It will be the circumference of this. So circumference is 2 pi x and length is dx. So I find out surface area of hollow cylinder as 2 pi x dx. So the total force on one segment which we have considered will be shear stress into the surface area. Shear stress is eta x theta by L, and into the distance is 2 pi x dx. So this gives us the equation of moment of force about the cylinder as 2 pi n theta x square dx upon L into dx. This is just obtained from this equation. The moment of force about the cylinder will be force into displacement, and the displacement is x. So we get the equation of moment of force, that is torque, as 2 pi eta theta x cube upon L into dx. Now this is the twisting, or this is the moment of force we have considered for a single cylinder which we assumed. To find out the total moment of force about the whole cylinder, we have to integrate it. What will be our integration limits? It will be from the center to the maximum, and this radius we have already considered L, because that is the radius of cylinder. So the twisting couple on the whole cylinder will be the integral taken over radius 0 to r. So integration 0 to r 2 pi eta theta x cube dx upon L, where 2 pi eta theta upon L is a constant term, and integration of x cube will be x raised to 4 upon 4. By substituting the limits, I get r raised to 4 upon 4. 2 here, 4 here, so it gets cancelled, and we get pi eta theta r raised to 4 upon 2L. So this is the equation of twisting couple on the whole cylinder. But if you want to find out what is the torsional rigidity, we have to find out the twisting couple per twist. What is the twisting couple per twist? The twisting couple per twist is defined as this twisting couple per theta. So twisting couple, which we commonly call as torsional rigidity, we denote it by capital C. It will be pi eta r raised to 4 upon 2L. So this gives the equation of torsional rigidity for a solid cylinder, which clearly depends on the modulus of rigidity. Next, we consider a case of hollow cylinder, wherein we consider a hollow cylinder having an inner radius of Ri and outer radius of Ro. So the twisting couple on the cylinder will be obtained by this equation. Instead of the limits 0 to r, which was the case of solid cylinder, here we are having a hollow cylinder. We have the limits inner to outer. So Ri to Ro, 2 pi eta theta x cube dx upon L, which gives us 2 pi eta theta upon 4L Rho raised to 4 minus Ri raised to 4. I have just taken 4 here because it's a common term. So the twisting couple per twist. Now per twist, if you want to find out the twisting couple, you have to divide this equation by theta. So twisting couple per twist for a hollow cylinder will be CH. For a hollow cylinder, we denote it as CH. For a solid cylinder, you can denote by CS. It will be pi into eta upon 2L. Theta is gone and 2 has been cancelled. Rho raised to 4 minus Ri raised to 4. Suppose we consider, now what we have to do is we want to compare it for a solid cylinder and for a hollow cylinder. This is the equation of torsional rigidity for a hollow cylinder, and this was the equation for a solid cylinder. Now we want to compare both the torsional rigidities to find out which one of them is generally higher. So we are considering two cylinders which have the same density because they are of same material. We consider that both the cylinders have same mass and same length. So same L, same M and same rho. So ratio of both of them will be CH upon CS. This common term pi eta upon 2L will get cancelled. We will be getting CH upon CS, torsional rigidity of hollow cylinder upon torsional rigidity of solid cylinder is equals to Rho raised to 4 minus Ri raised to 4 upon R raised to 4. So this I am just expanding it. I am just expanding by using the formula a square minus b square. So I get a square minus b square, sorry, a minus b plus a plus into a plus b. So Rho raised to 4 minus Ri raised to 4, that is a square minus b square is written as a plus b into a minus b divided by R raised to 4. Now we are given that mass, the equation of mass of a cylinder will be equal to, you can find out mass is equals to pi r square L rho, that is based on volume. The volume of a cylinder is pi r square L. You know the relation between mass and density and volume. So density is equals to mass divided by volume. So basis on that, the mass of the equation, mass of the cylinder can be written as, for a hollow cylinder it can be written as pi Rho square minus Ri square L rho, and for a solid cylinder it can be written as pi r square L rho, but we have considered the mass of both the cylinders to be same. So based on this equation, pi L rho is a common term. We can compare that Rho square minus Ri square is equals to R square. Substituting the equation of Rho square minus Ri square equal to R square here, one R square term will be eliminated from the denominator, and so we have CH upon CS is equals to Rho square plus Ri square upon R square. Now this equation Rho square minus Ri square is equals to R square, it gives that Rho square plus Ri square should be greater than R square. Because this is equals to R square, we substitute, so we get the equation Rho square plus Ri square is greater than R square. What does that mean? Because CH upon CS is a ratio of Rho square plus Ri square upon R square. Now this term is greater than R square. That means CH upon CS is greater than 1, or we can say CH is greater than CS. What does this mean? The twisting couple on a hollow cylinder is greater than the twisting couple on a solid cylinder, and this is the only reason in industrial applications hollow shafts are used as compared to solid shafts, because they have a higher torsional rigidity. So twisting couple on a hollow cylinder is greater than the twisting couple on a solid cylinder having the same material and length, and that is the reason hollow shafts are preferred over solid shafts. Now we have a small topic called torsional pendulum. A torsional pendulum is a heavy disc which is suspended from one end. So it has one fixed end. So this is the fixed end. This is a suspension wire and this is a disc. So you can see in this animation, suppose you rotate the disc in this direction, it will try to resist and come back like this. Again it will actually, when you twist a disc connected in this manner, it will resist and come back in the opposite direction. So suppose I consider this as my reference line. So plus theta is the twist I gave, minus theta it will go on its own. Again plus theta, again minus theta, again plus theta, again minus theta. So based on the animation you can see that this exhibits simple harmonic motion. So we'll be finding out what is the period of oscillation of this motion. So disc is turned, the wire will twist, and when released it will execute torsional vibrations. Suppose we say theta is the twisting angle. We twist by theta, it covers minus theta again. So there will be a restoring couple set up in the disc. Any force applied, the object definitely restores. So the restoring force here will be c theta. Now this restoring force leads to an angular acceleration in the disc because it leads to a simple harmonic motion. So we define this angular, now we know that this angular acceleration is equals to d omega by dt. This is the equation of angular acceleration. The restoring couple is related to this angular acceleration by the relation c theta is equals to I alpha. Alpha is a term we use for angular acceleration, and I is known as moment of inertia. Moment of inertia means the property which resists rotational motion. So c theta is the restoring couple, I is the moment of inertia, and alpha is the angular acceleration. The term negative, here the negative sign indicates that we have a restoring couple induced. So comparing the above equation, we get alpha is equals to minus c theta upon I. Now this equation represents the angular acceleration of the disc. It is proportional to theta. So if angular acceleration is proportional to theta, we call such a motion as simple harmonic motion, because simple harmonic motion is a motion in which displacement and angular acceleration are proportional. So this is just a simple harmonic motion with alpha is equals to minus omega square theta. I just compare, this is the angular velocity. So I compare this equation and this equation. So I get minus c theta upon I is equals to minus omega square theta. So we get omega square is equals to c upon I. What is this term c? It is the torsional rigidity of the disc. So basis on this I get omega is equals to under root of c by I. The time period of the above simple harmonic motion is written as t is equals to 2 pi by omega. Instead of omega, I substitute this equation. So I get t is equals to 2 pi under root of I by c. I is the moment of inertia of the disc and c is the torsional rigidity. So this is the equation which gives time period of torsional pendulum, the time period of oscillation of torsional pendulum. Hope the topic was clear. Any doubts, you can get me on my email ID. Thank you.